Welcome back to our channel, where we explore fascinating topics from history, religion, and culture. Today we have a captivating subject to delve into, the Ethiopian Bible. You may be wondering, what makes the Ethiopian Bible so unique? Well, stick around as we uncover the mysteries behind this ancient text and explore its significance in the world of Christianity. But before we dive in, let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever wondered why the Bible isn't just one book but a collection of texts written over many years? Did you know that different religious groups, including the verified or accepted ones, have a long history of including or excluding various texts based on theological and personal grounds? And did you know that the Ethiopian Bible contains additional books not found in other versions? If these questions have piqued your curiosity, then you're in for a treat. Today, we'll explore the rich tapestry of the Ethiopian Bible, its unique canons, and the historical reasons that led to its divergence from other Christian traditions. We'll discuss the additional books included in the Ethiopian Bible, their origins, and the fascinating stories they hold. We'll also uncover the challenges surrounding the acceptance of the Ethiopian Bible, including language barriers, its relative obscurity outside of Ethiopia, and even political motivations that shape the Canon. Plus, we'll explore how recent efforts have made this ancient text more accessible and the growing interest in understanding its secrets and truths. Now, let's get started. Well, believe it or not, the Ethiopian Bible is a real-life mystery that captures our attention. Ethiopia, a country with its own enigmatic history, is home to one of the oldest civilizations on Earth. Unlike many other African nations, Ethiopia remained uncolonized, allowing its people to trace their lineage all the way back to Ham, one of Noah's sons. This historical connection has even been acknowledged by the Jewish community. However, let's shift our focus to what Ethiopia possesses, the ancient Bible scrolls. These scrolls predate even the renowned King James Version Bible. While the well-known Bible consists of 66 books, the Ethiopian Bible boasts an impressive collection of 88 books. It contains not only the familiar Old and New Testaments, but also includes additional works that are absent from other religious texts. What makes this even more intriguing is the fact that Ethiopia possessed these scrolls long before Christianity was introduced to the country in the 4th century. These ancient manuscripts offer a unique glimpse into a time when the teachings of Christianity were not widely known in the region. In other words, unlike most nations where Christianity was introduced as a new religion, Ethiopia already had a long-standing connection with Christianity since the 4th century. It was not imposed upon them but rather embraced by the Ethiopian people themselves. In the middle of the 6th century, an Egyptian traveler, monk, and historian named Cosmos Indicopoulos noted that Ethiopia was a Christian country during his visit. He witnessed how the rulers of Ethiopia opened their borders to Christian refugees who sought asylum from persecution in other kingdoms and empires that opposed Christianity. Interestingly, certain Ethiopian tribes have been worshipping the Christian God for over 3,500 years, making them one of the oldest organized Christian communities in the world. Contrary to popular belief, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, locally known as Tiho, holds the distinction of being the oldest Christian body, predating even the Catholic ministry. Moreover, Ethiopia is also home to one of the earliest illustrated Christian books ever discovered. In 2010, a part of the Gospels written in Ge'ez, an ancient Ethiopian language, was found in a monastery atop a mountain in Ethiopia. According to the Kebra Nagast, Ethiopia's holy book, in the 10th century BCE, the biblical Queen of Sheba, an Ethiopian ruler, traveled to Jerusalem seeking King Solomon's wisdom. Although this event is recorded in the accepted Bible canon, what the Bible doesn't explicitly mention is that the two rulers had a son named Menelik. Queen Sheba took Menelik back to Ethiopia, and he became the first emperor. In 2012, experts examined the genetic makeup of many Ethiopians and found some evidence supporting the possibility of Sheba's journey to Jerusalem and the birth of her child there. It is believed that Egyptians, Israelis, or Syrians may have intermingled with the native Ethiopian population around years ago, coinciding with the time Queen Sheba is said to have ruled her kingdom. Despite its rich history, authenticity, and credentials, the Ethiopian Bible has been largely disregarded and excluded from the canon of holy books. Surprisingly, many people, including believers of the same faith, have never heard of the Ethiopian Bible. This highlights the extent to which efforts have been made to discredit and conceal its existence. This naturally raises the question, why? To understand the reasons behind this, let's delve into a brief history lesson. The Bible as we know it today has undergone significant changes throughout history. In the past, there were numerous versions and interpretations of different parts of the Bible. The original texts were written in Hebrew before being translated into other languages. The first translation was carried out by a man named Saint Jerome, who translated the Hebrew texts into Latin. This translation, known as the Vulgate, was completed around the year 400 and remains the principal Latin version of the Bible. It consisted of 27 books in the New Testament and 39 books in the Old Testament, which was referred to as the Hebrew Bible at that time. During the first century, many books were written about Jesus' life and teachings. However, not all of them were authentic. Some were akin to fan fiction novels presenting fictionalized accounts of Jesus' life. The problem arose when these books were released to the public, and people began believing them to be true. In an era without quick fact-checking capabilities like the internet, false information spread faster than the truth. Consequently, a significant number of fake books circulated in society, causing harm. This concern led to important decisions made by leaders in the early Christian church. They convened at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD and the First Council of Constantinople in 381 AD to determine which books would be included in the New Testament. They concluded that a book could be considered scripture if it was written by one of Jesus' followers or someone who had witnessed his teachings. Additionally, the book had to be written in the first century and align with the rest of the Bible. Throughout history, there have been various changes to what we now call the Holy Bible. However, one of the most significant changes occurred during the reign of King James I. Despite the existence of the Vulgate for over 500 years, there were still numerous versions and accounts of the Bible, which troubled the king. He desired a version of the Bible that would settle religious differences and reinforce his authority. Several priests also urged the king to make changes, claiming that some existing translations were incorrect. To address this pressing issue, the king assembled a team of 47 experts tasked with reviewing all the different Bible translations available at the time. The experts were divided into 6 groups and worked independently on different parts of the project for 7 years. They adhered to strict rules to ensure impartiality and utilized various tools to create a scientifically accurate Bible that remained faithful to the original languages. When the priests and the king examined the works of these experts, they discovered that despite working separately and being geographically distant, there were remarkable similarities in their findings. This led to the approval of the translation, and credit was attributed to God for guiding them toward a unified conclusion. In 1611, the King James Bible was published, and due to advancements in printing, it became one of the most accessible versions of the Bible up to that point. As a result of the edits made in the King James Bible and the original Vulgate translation by St. Jerome, some books were not included in the Bible that most Christians use today. However, it's important to note that the Ethiopian Bible, also known as the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church Bible, retains all the scripture. The rejection of the Ethiopian Bible can be attributed to various reasons, but the primary one is the inclusion of additional books known as pseudepigrapha. Pseudepigrapha refers to falsely attributed works or texts that claim authorship by someone other than the true author or ascribe it to a figure from the past. These texts, similar to fan fiction, are considered non-canonical by most other Christian traditions. The books that were removed or rejected from the canon were ones that scribes and theologians of the time already knew were not divinely inspired. Many individuals before and after Jesus wrote these books with malicious intentions, and it was understood that they should not be included. To illustrate, let's consider a hypothetical scenario. If someone were to release a book today claiming that Kobe Bryant was not a great athlete, the book would likely fail, and the author would face significant backlash because we know the claim to be false. However, give that book 500 years, and people in that future era may start to believe that Kobe Bryant was indeed a subpar athlete. To prevent such false information from spreading into the future, these books were excluded from the canon. It's worth mentioning that even the Ethiopian Bible has 2 canons, the broader canon and the narrow canon. The broader canon is more famous and includes 81 books. It contains books like Enoch, Jubilees, the 3 books of Maccabees, the Epistle to Clement, 4 books of Kibra Nagast, and many more. The narrow canon, on the other hand, was overseen by Emperor Haile Selassie, who proclaimed it as the official and complete version of the Ethiopian Bible. The reasons behind this decision are complex and better explored through personal research. The narrow canon consists of 72 books and does not include some scriptures found in the broader version. The broader canon encompasses everything found in the narrow canon and more. It's worth noting that the broader canon has not been reprinted since the early 20th century, which adds to the controversies surrounding the acceptance of the Ethiopian Bible. Having 2 different versions within the same tradition can contribute to disagreements and challenges in establishing a universally accepted canon. If you're interested in delving deeper into this topic, I encourage you to explore the available resources and conduct your own research to discern the truth for yourself. The Ethiopian canon provides us with a valuable perspective on how the Bible has changed over time. Contrary to popular belief, the Bible is not just one book. Rather, it is a collection of texts and experiences written over many years. This diversity of texts has led to differences in the canons of various religious groups, including the verified or accepted ones. Different theological, social, and personal reasons have influenced the inclusion or exclusion of different texts or copies. The Bible we know today was mostly written in the 4th and 5th centuries AD. By that time, Christianity in Ethiopia had already started to diverge from Christianity in Europe and the surrounding regions of the Mediterranean. This divergence has continued over time, leading to distinct differences. While the Ethiopian Bible shares many similarities with the Catholic and Orthodox Bibles, it does include a few additional Old Testament books. These books were likely written in the last few hundred years BC, which is relatively late in the timeline of Old Testament books, but predates the New Testament. Furthermore, the Ethiopian Bible contains additional books added to the end of the New Testament that specifically discuss the history and structure of the Ethiopian Church. The language in which the Ethiopian Bible is written, Ge'ez, also presents a challenge for non-speakers to access and understand it. Additionally, the lack of translations and unique practices associated with the Ethiopian Bible have contributed to its relative obscurity outside of Ethiopia. Another reason for the rejection of the Ethiopian Bible can be attributed to politics. During the early days of Christianity, power and politics were significant concerns for the Roman emperors. Scrolls that didn't align with their preferred narrative were excluded. In fact, the Bishop of Rome instructed the priests to destroy scrolls that were not included in the Bible. However, the priests were wise and concealed many of these scrolls in vats, which were discovered near the Dead Sea in the 1940s. This historical context explains the differences between the 2 versions of the Bible. One version tends to have a more complete compilation, while the other version contains what was deemed acceptable by man. In recent years, there has been a growing interest in the Ethiopian Bible as people seek to understand its uniqueness and uncover the truths it holds. Ethiopian churches have made efforts to make the Bible more accessible by translating it into various languages and conducting academic studies on its contents. It is truly remarkable that this Bible has survived for so long despite historical challenges, such as attacks by Muslims and Italy, as well as a fire that burnt down the church of the monastery where the Bible was housed in the 1930s. These events add to the mystery and significance of this book. As we conclude our exploration, it's important to acknowledge that the Ethiopian Bible is just one example of the diverse canons and interpretations of the Bible across different religious groups. It reminds us that the Bible is not a static, monolithic text, but rather a collection of writings that have evolved and been shaped by various historical, cultural, and theological influences. We hope this journey has sparked your curiosity and encouraged you to explore further. The Ethiopian Bible is a testament to the enduring power of faith and the ways in which religious traditions evolve and adapt over time. So, whether you're a scholar, a believer, or someone seeking knowledge, we invite you to continue your exploration and uncover the hidden treasures within the Ethiopian Bible. Thank you for joining us in this exploration. And don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and share it with others who may find it intriguing. Subscribe to our channel for more captivating content from the realm of history, religion, and culture. Until next time, keep seeking knowledge and embracing the mysteries that enrich our world.